Okay guys, I'm going to try to attempt to make this video with my phone because I do not have a calculator app on my computer here at school. So if you'll follow along, I'll show you exactly what to do on the calculator, and hopefully I can explain linear regression and how to do it on your calculator, because you have to know how to do this tomorrow for the test with no help from me. So here's our situation. We have a convenience store manager who notices the sales of soft drink are higher on hotter days. So he symbols this data in the table. And here's our data. So what I want to do is I need to put that data into my calculator so that I can make a scatter plot and find an equation regression line, and then use that to predict how many I might sell. I think they asked for me, what if the temperature was 95 degrees? About how many cans do you think you would sell? So here's my data. You may need to pause it, but I'm going to put it in the calculator. So if you want to follow that with me. So on your calculator, here we go. Get it good. Okay. You are going to push stat and then enter. And when you push stat and then enter, L1 and L2 should come up. So I've got some stuff in there, so I want to clear that out. So if you go up to the top and push clear and then the down arrow, it should clear everything that's in there. So I'm going to go to the top of L2, push clear, and then down. And that should take care of that. So now my lists are clear. I can enter my data. So in L1, I'll put the temperatures, and they told me 55, 58, 64, 68, 70, 75, 80, and 84 is the data that I have. Move over to L2, and it's the number of cans sold. So I'm going to put 340, 335, 410, 460, 450, 610, 735, and 780. And the data should match. What's in L1 should be the same number of data points as in L2. Now I need to make sure that my calculator will do a scatter plot. So you see right there it says stat plot right above the y equals. That's what I need to look at. So to get there, since that's the blue key, I need to push second and then stat plot. So second and then stat plot. And in my case, plot 1 is on, which is what you want it to be. Plot 2 is off, plot 3 is off, the rest of them are off. So if yours says off, then you would hit enter, and you'd want it to be on. You want the type to be a scatter plot, the X list to be L1, the Y list to be L2, and you can use whatever mark you want to for your data. Okay, if I hit graph right now, I don't see anything. Here's why. Your calculator is just showing a piece of the graph. And right now, if I hit window, I can see where my calculator is going from 120 to 2,280 on the X's. Well, my X's just go from 55 to 84, so they're just not showing up. But your calculator has a unique feature. If you'll hit zoom here in the top, and you'll go down to number 9, it's called zoom stat. And what that does, if you push enter, it will fit the window of your calculator to the data that you have in your lists. Now we all wish that worked for our y equals, but it doesn't. But if you have the information in your list and you push zoom stat, your data should show up. So now I have the data showing up. I want to find the equation for this regression line. You can see on the graph, as the points go up, the amount of soda sold also goes up. So notice that. All right. So we're going to find the equation of our regression line. If you'll push stat and then arrow over to calc, we want the linear regression, which is number 4. Now somebody's messed with this one because it doesn't say L1. It says the X list is UT. I like Tennessee, so that'd be a cool list, but it wouldn't help me solve this problem. So for my X list, I need it to be L1. Look down here on your calculator. Do you see L1 right there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push where it says X list. I'm going to push second 1, and then it made it L1. My Y list should be L2. For frequency list, I leave that blank. You can do the store regression equation if you want to. If you don't want to do that, you can just go to calculate and push enter, and it'll tell you your regression equation. Y equals 16.4x plus negative 621.8, or minus 621.8. If you do stat calc 4 and you go down to store regression equation, if you wanted to put it in your y equals and tell you what it is, then you would push vars, go over to y vars, and push enter on function and enter on y1, and then calculate it. And not only does it give you the equation like before, but it also, if you click y equals, it has typed that equation in your y equals. So that if you hit graph, it puts that equation up on the graph. So that is a way to kind of help you. But if I need the equation of the regression line, I didn't write it down. Let me just go down to calculate because it's already in there. My equation would be, I'm going to write it down here on my paper. Y equals, you can't see it all at one time, y equals 16.4x minus 621.8. Okay? Now they want me to use that model to predict soft drink sales if the temperature is 95 degrees. So if you'll remember from our data, sorry about that, the temperature is your X, the number of cans sold is your Y. So I want to use this equation, but let X be 95. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 16.4 times 95 minus 621.8 and see what I get. And that should be how many cans I can expect to sell if the temperature is 95 degrees. So on your calculator, 16.4 times 95 minus 621.8, I could expect to sell 936 cans of soda if the temperature was 95 degrees. Hope that helps you with linear regression. If you have any trouble, you can send a text back, and good luck studying for your test tomorrow.